Major John Wesley Powell, who lost an arm fighting in the American Civil War, led the first organized expedition down the Colorado River. He named many features along the river, including Glen Canyon. Construction of the Glen Canyon Dam began in 1956, resulting in 185 miles of backed-up Colorado River and its tributaries, and forming Lake Powell, which was named after the Major in his honor. We get our first view of the dam and Glen Canyon in a land once ruled by dinosaurs. A conveniently placed sign gives lots of details, together with some remarkable, well-preserved dinosaur footprints. But you better watch out, there are pterodactyls about. A road bridge over Glen Canyon provides a wonderful vantage point to see into the canyon and also across Lake Powell. This is looking along and down into Glen Canyon immediately after the dam. And the dam itself with Lake Powell behind it. The dam is the second largest in America and provides electricity from its turbine generators and also water to many locations. To get an impression of the height of the dam and looking directly downwards, the cars and buses at the bottom are not toys, but the real thing. Looking over the dam, the top of the submerged canyon is seen stretching away into the distance for miles. Exploring the canyon by boat is a favourite pastime, and we were booked to go on a trip. We found our cruiser moored by a jetty and, under the watchful eye of a crew member, climbed aboard. Another cruiser was moored next to us, the Ethel G. I wonder who she was. Setting off, a crew member does a head count just in case. Speaker headsets were conveniently provided, and running commentary kept us well informed as we moved along. We were soon well out into the lake and settled back to enjoy the stunning views in perfect weather. Of course, we were not the only ones on the lake. Some were going just a little bit faster though. We were now sailing over the open stretch of water towards the dam. Another launch came close for a quick wave and was then off again. The captain took us in to get a very good view of the dam, and then we did a very slow turn and headed back, picking up speed, passing close to the walls of the canyon. The height reached by the water when the level of the water in the lake was at its highest is marked by the difference in the colour. Now we were approaching a point where it really got interesting. Speed dropped as we made a slow turn to starboard so as to enter one of the many channels formed by the canyon walls. Looking straight ahead, this is what the captain saw: a wall of rock, not for the faint-hearted. We moved slowly on, twisting and turning, sometimes the channel getting quite narrow. rock formations and the channel was continually changing as we cruised slowly past. Every now and again another launch would pass us, and being good mariners, we would give them a friendly wave. As we continually changed course, the sun striking the rocks made a very dramatic effect.
Right around that corner, just a little bit down there, is the beach at this water level. It will be changing here a little bit, but right now.
In places, some of the rock formations looked as if they were human faces. A warning toot, just in case, as we turn sharp into port on a blind bend. As other launch enters the channel, we regain open water again, after a fascinating and quite spectacular trip to return to the jetty. Another head count is taken, just in case anyone got off, and our friendly crew member makes sure we all disembark safely. As I did so, I looked down and saw what I think were large-mouthed bass and trout, eager for any tidbits that might come their way. We said goodbye to our aptly named Canyon Explorer, having had a wonderful and unforgettable trip doing just that, exploring the canyon. The next day we were on the road again, this time bound for Zion Canyon, one of the most attractive and unusual canyons. The approach to the canyon was quite spectacular in itself, and we travelled downhill in order to get to the bottom of the canyon. As there was only one road in, occasionally we encountered some traffic. We were driving through massive sandstone cliffs on either side, continually going downwards, and speed warnings were now commonplace.
I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much.
Wendy, our illustrious tour manager, gives us details about what is going to happen next.
So we're just about to check in for the tunnel, and the last person through has baton, which is handed over to the park ranger this end, and with the handing over of the baton, it's presumed clear for...
In order to enter Zion National Park Canyon, the roadway cuts right through the rock, making it one of the most unusual ways to enter a canyon. It's also a good idea because it imposes a limit as to how many vehicles can be in the canyon. The park ranger keeps a sharp eye on the numbers. After a short break, the high-tech system springs into action, and we continue our journey towards the tunnel entrance.
And yeehaw, we're off.
I'll take my half of the road right out of the middle.
Okay, hard hats on everybody.
After the sunshine, it was quite a contrast, and it was headlights time for all the vehicles.
The tunnel of love. Get your hands off.
And then we were through.
Travel sphere tradition. As we make our way down, we sing "She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain."
She didn't get any takers.
Waited first. Oh, slow.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Hi.
This really was spectacular scenery. Continuing downward, we could see the road switchbacking to lose height.
Absolutely beautiful.
Our driver for the entire trip, Gary, did an absolutely wonderful job, and we never at any time felt in any danger at all. Partly because Buster Bronco, his mascot, which sat in the dividing part of the windscreen, kept him in check and everyone safe. After descending many hundreds of feet, we began to level off as we neared the floor of the canyon. The combination of sandstone cliffs, green trees and foliage made for quite an attractive setting, so different from other canyons. We were now nearly at the end of a stunning drive through stupendous scenery and arrived at the drop-off point. From here we could amble through the canyon by the River Virgin, which flowed along between these towering cliffs.
I'm sure.
The river was a combination of smooth water and little rapids, causing the water to chatter restlessly as it flowed along.
good.
There was even a mini waterfall, which added to the attraction of this wonderful scenery. After a couple of hours of very enjoyable strolling along, we came to the end of the pathway and turned back, almost reluctant to leave this delightful and spectacular place. In the coach again, this time leaving the canyon, and now bound for a location that anyone who has seen a Western film will be familiar with.